Hello, Professor Briza. My name is Anthony Dergazarian, and this is my final report for Human Resource Management. As you mentioned in the description for what we're supposed to do for this assignment, I submitted the outline of this to Canvas, and then this is the video. And the general format of this is going to be I'm going to talk about the two Carter Cleaning Company case studies from week 2 and week 5. And then I'm also going to answer the um, section about my future career goals and aspirations. This semester has been a great semester of learning, and I really enjoyed learning about human resource management in regard to how it relates to the entire management process because it's really important to know how to acquire, train, appraise, and compensate employees, and then also how to follow the correct government guidelines and regulations to make sure everything legally is up to par and being done correctly. So, in the first Carter Cleaning Company case study, we focused on the job description. Creating and accurately developing a job description is a very important skill for a manager, and it's especially important because a job description not only lists the specific work a job will entail, but it also provides directions for the job specifications as well, which is very important. In this Carter Cleaning Company case study, Jennifer is a manager who didn't really believe how important a job description was during her schooling, or she didn't really pay attention that much. And as a result, she finds out that a lot of her employees are violating company standards and policies and not doing it, and they're violating it time and time again, repeatedly. So we're going to go over some questions regarding the job description in this study. So the first question was, what should be the format and final form of the store manager's job description? We learned in our textbook that there's no real set in stone kind of concrete way of doing it, but there are 7 key points that should be in every single type of job description. And these are job identification, a job summary, the responsibilities and duties of the job, authority of the incumbent, standards of performance, working conditions, and job specifications. The final form should address all 7 of these in one way or another. It doesn't have to be set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but all 7 of these should generally be answered in one way or another. The next question is it practical to specify standards and procedures in the body of the job description, or should these be kept separate? I couldn't really find a concrete answer of this inside our textbook as well. It was kind of left up to the manager's discretion. And what I found was that the standards and procedures certainly could be specified in the job description if they are unique to that specific job rather than keeping them completely separate. A job description is meant to list the duties, activities, and responsibilities of the job, as well as its important features and working conditions. So I think that would be fine to include in the body of the job description. Then the next question after that is, how should Jennifer go about collecting information required for the standards, procedures, and job description? There's a variety of ways she could do this. She could work together with the current store manager and his or her supervisor and just kind of ask them questions and collect data from them about the tasks and responsibilities that should be required of the store manager currently. Or she could also actively observe the current store manager to see, what kind of procedures, policy standards they're following, which ones they're not, and then kind of use this information to come up with the standards, procedures, and job description. The next question after this is, what, in your opinion, should the store manager's job description look like and contain? I created a graphic for this, which I'm not going to show, but I'll just kind of talk about it. So those 7 key points that we talked about in the previous first answer of summary, uh, of a job identification, job summary, responsibilities and duties, authority of incumbent, standards of performance, working conditions, job specification. These should all be on there. So the job description generally should have a summary at the very top. And this is just kind of listing the specific skills and aspects of the job that will be required by the applicant. Then there should be a section that is responsibilities and duties, listing how the potential employee can expect to split up their duties and responsibilities. Excuse me. For instance, it could be like 60% is focused on sales, 25% of the job is focused on human resources and customer service, and then like 15% is focused on leadership. There should also be like a section about authority of the incumbent, which is just kind of explaining the authority that the applicant will have over other employees and operations within the company. There should also be a section about standards of performance, talking about the requirements that the applicant will have to adhere to For example, they have to submit a performance report semi-annually, or they're required to post all transactions weekly. There should also be a section about working conditions, which is just telling the applicant what they can expect of their work environment and what it will be like working there. And then also a section about job specification, which explains characteristics such as amount of years of schooling, experience, and skills that are required. So an example of this could be that they must have a bachelor's degree, must have 3 years of experience, and have good people skills. Excuse me. All of these sections, as we learned, it doesn't have to be section, 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 but generally that's a good format to have, and I would generally use that in my future career. Now, for the second Carter Cleaning Company case study of week 5, this focused on a new training program and kind of orienting new employees and making sure they understand what they're going to be doing and getting onboarded properly for the company. So, in this Carter Company Cleaning Stays, we learned that training employees and having an orientation process that is both effective and efficient is crucial to the success of a company and its employees. In this one, Jennifer, again, the manager of the Carter Company, feels that her employees are not receiving adequate information during their onboarding process, and she thinks that it needs to be kind of reconstructed because the current one is not very descriptive. So we're asked specifically, what should the Carters cover in their new employee orientation program, and how should they convey this information? Although some employees interact directly with customers, others, such as pressers, do not, and may have bilingual skills. This may necessitate translating training materials. How should Jennifer address this? So the details regarding the company itself, I think, should be addressed in the orientation program, and they should also mention what services it offers, as well as its policies, procedures, values, and etc. Everything like that. That's just general information about the company. And most important, I think the information that should be included is what the employee should be learning during the orientation, what will be expected of them on the job, and the standards that they will be held to. This is very important because employees should know what they're getting themselves into, not only what the company is that they're working for, but what their assigned duties will be, so that they know, have an expectation of what to expect. I think they should also be informed of what their responsibilities and duties should be on the job, and any other information about like health and self safety rules and guidelines that should be followed. In addition to this, the information can be conveyed to them in a plethora of ways. We learned that some of the best ways to do this is through there's both on campus training and off campus. So on campus could be like a company tour, and then off campus could be like videos, tutorials, and stuff like that. So Jennifer is the store manager. She should have some sort of schedule or agenda in place for onboarding new employees, such as an onboarding orientation type. What do they call it? There was a name for it. It was kind of like a company walkthrough where you have the employee come in, and for like 2 weeks you kind of show them everything. You walk them through the company, show them what they're going to be doing, and everything like that. In regard to the bilingual situation and the problem of possibly not having good translation with the bilingual employees, a good solution to this could be to hire a professional translator, and this obviously would take care of the problem. However, sometimes it can be expensive to hire a translator. So, as we learned in our textbook, it's always best to try and make accommodations to help out if the employee is more than capable of completing it, unless the accommodation will hurt the company, in which case you probably would have to just hire somebody who speaks English and not risk your company's business going into the ground because you're spending too much money on that. But there's also other options. You don't have to hire a translator. You could also send like non-verbal types of education. So you could send like tutorials and videos and stuff that they can visually see what they're going to be doing and not necessarily have to understand English all that well to know what they're going to be doing. The next question is, in the human resource management course, Jennifer took the book suggested using a job instruction sheet to identify tasks performed by an employee. Should the Carter Cleaning Centers use a form like this for the counter person's job? If so, what should the form look like, say, for a counter person? So yes, obviously, if the form identifies the tasks that are performed by an employee, that's awesome. And since Jennifer's employees have been struggling with performing the tasks that they're supposed to be doing, This could probably really help that out. The form could be created in a variety of ways. There's no set in stone way really with anything in this course I've learned. It's just kind of following the general format and going off of that as is necessary because every situation is different. So the general form could be anything, but the form should definitely explain what is expected of the employees in terms of quality and standards of performance and what will be expected of their work as a counter person. 823. Let's see here. The next question is which specific training techniques should Jennifer use to train her impressors, her cleaners, spotters, her managers, and counter people? Why should these training techniques be used? So since her pressers and cleaner spotter persons are doing applicational work that requires adequate understanding of the equipment, chemicals, and supplies, I would suggest that she focus on the job training, so in person, showing them what they're going to be doing. And then since Jennifer's managers are going to be trained primarily with off the job training, in my opinion, because this is really great for behavior modeling. That which is a technique where trainees are first shown a good management technique in a film and then asked to play the roles in simulated stimulation, and then they're given feedback and praised by their supervisor. So this would be a great thing for a manager because a manager has a very important job, and being able to simulate what they're going to be doing before they do it could show you their strength, weaknesses, and help them kind of deal with that. And then for the counter people, they have a ton of duties as we learned in this Carter Cleaning Company study. So it's kind of important to, I would say, do job instruction training, which we learned is listing each job's basic tasks along with key points in order to provide step-by-step training for the employees. So that would be a great training technique for the counter people. These Carter Cleaning Company cases were really fun, in my opinion. That was the final question for the two Carter case cleaning study companies. Sorry about that. Carter Cleaning Company case studies. That was the final question for that. I really enjoyed both of these assignments in particular because it kind of gave you, it was sort of like a simulation. It gave me a chance to look at the information, put myself in the shoes of a manager, and assess the situation as a manager to come up with a solution that was both effective and efficient to help the company not go in the wrong direction. Um, Continuing on to the final question for this presentation regarding my future plans and goals, I hope to get my bachelor in um, healthcare management here at Rochester University. And then after I get my bachelor's degree, my dream was to become a physical therapist. So I'm probably going to apply to either Wayne or Flint or just a bunch of schools to see whichever ones I can get accepted into, and then hopefully pursue a doctorate in physical therapy and use my managerial information that I've learned to maybe own a clinic someday or manage a clinic. However, during this bachelor degree, I've talked with Miss Bonnie McIntosh, who is the coordinator of it, and she said that we're going to do a year internship. So I'm hoping that during that internship, maybe I'll find that I really enjoy just being a healthcare manager, and that's something that I will pursue and just stay on that path. So that's my kind of my goal is to I want to become a physical therapist, but I'm completely open to a career in healthcare management. So I just want to say thank you very much, Professor Breezer, for all of your help this semester. It's been a blessing to learn under you, and I really appreciate your openness to help me out whenever I had questions and all of your feedback all semester long. So I hope you have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and God bless you. Thank you.